Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a champion will be crowned at Spectrum Center this Saturday. We've got Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman with us. You've been here before, Nancy, 2018, and now you're about to do it all again. Not your first rodeo. Is this the fourth championship game now for you? And Gary Payton opposite you, always fun, a fellow Hall of Famer. How big is this game, and what's different from the 2018 team?
Well, 2018, when we had some of the greats of the game, we had Corey Maggette, who was our captain, and our MVP, Big Baby Davis, Katino Mobley, Quentin Richardson, and Birdman. They were just epic as far as, former NBA guys who were so disciplined in their approach. And then really we ended up reworking the entire team. And it's been fun, when you hear that team, people have rebuilt from scratch their team, and that's what Power is. And the history of Power, this will be our third finals. Actually, it's our fourth finals. We've won one, and then we've been to the playoffs every year but two. So the culture is you can't win a championship if you don't do well in the regular season, which leads us to the semis, and here we are. But let me say something about Gary Payton. He's an unbelievable coach, won the championship a couple years ago with the Enemies, and one of his players, I believe, was our player, Elijah Stewart. So there's always great storylines in the Big Three, so it's an honor to be a part of this.
Gary's built a reputation as one of the biggest trash talkers in the game. Has he ever caught you, and does that add a bit of spice to it?
No, and we've been friends for a long time. Matter of fact, I left Boston a week ago, went to Phoenix for a WNBA thing with the Mercury, and then right to Oakland to support him in his foundation dinner and golf tournament. No, we're thicker than thieves. Matter of fact, the glove, he lost the glove years ago when he retired. Lady Magic lost when she stopped passing the basketball. It's not about us, it's about the players. And his team, has the MVP in Jeremy Pargo. Deshaun Stevens is playing the best basketball of his Big Three tenure. And both those guys played for me at Power. So I know how good they are. And with Ray Nixon and, everybody that they have on that team, Oliver Miller, or Quincy Miller, I should say. It's going to be a battle, but we're ready. We're looking forward to it. And the place is going to be just jamming like Dallas was the other day. And we like playing for all the chips. So there's just two of us here. And somebody's going to get handed a trophy by Ice Cube and our commissioner, Clyde Drexler.
The Jeremy Pargo subplot is an intriguing one. How big of a threat is he to you, and have you got a special plan for him?
We do. We game plan for everybody. That's my job. My job is to put together a scouting report and a game plan, how we take away team strength, how we send them maybe to their secondary game. And then it's, on Saturday, players determine probability and outcome. And if we're disciplined, which we will be, if we play the way Power plays, we feel very confident, but very humbled to be here and to have this experience. And again, we have tons of respect for the Ball Hogs. I think we were the two best teams in the league. And Gary does an incredible job of coaching. He actually is a coach like me. So here we are.
How much momentum does that Miami win give to you?
The Miami win, you never want to say payback, but we were winning a year ago in the semis in Dallas, and we were up 6. We had 2 bad possessions. I think it was like 42-36. We took 2 bad shots and turned it over. And before I could blink, we were down 43-42. And we ended up losing to Miami. And Beasley hit a shot from the corner. I think it was a 3 from the corner, and they ended up winning. Then this year, our only loss, It was a great game, but we didn't play well. We missed 6 foul shots, and in this league, 6 foul shots is 12 points. I think we lost by 6, so we left 12 points on the table. Not only did we leave points on the table, but the foul shots were when we were in the bonus. So if we had hit the foul shots, we get the ball back. We take possessions away from Lance Stevenson and Michael Beasley, and so we struggled and we lost. So winning was payback. We were excited to be able to do that.
Elijah Stewart is one of the biggest reasons Dallas is here. Do you think he gets overlooked sometimes when people talk about the best players in Big Three?
Well, he shouldn't. And if you see his podcast, he certainly is going to tell you that he doesn't want to be overlooked. I thought it was, everybody has a story, right? And he was on that championship team with the Enemies. He was on the team in LA with Jordan Crawford and Dwight Howard. And it's a friends league, and they let him go. And really the cool thing, my son TJ plays in Israel. And when I went over to see him in March, Elijah played on a different team and came over. We sat, we talked. And TJ is like my general manager. And he said, you have to, Mom, you have to take Elijah Stewart. And he gave me all the reasons for doing this. And TJ is spot on. Maybe I don't take him if TJ doesn't know him as well as he does. They played together in Israel and other places. So I do respect what TJ says. He brought me Glenn Rice Jr. He brought me Pargo. He brought me Deshaun. He brought me Akil Mitchell. A lot of really great talent. TJ has, really brought to Team Power.
You mentioned Gary's a great friend of yours. Does he bring out the best in you, knowing what great competitors you both are, seeing him across from you? And is the loser going to take the winner out to dinner?
I would take him out anytime he wants. He's family to me, and it's really kind of cool. We've done a lot of media together. We've talked about our families and our upbringing, and he's coming to my charity event in September, and that's why I wanted to make sure that I went to his charity event. I knew that was really important for him. Oh, trust me, we're going after each other as coaches in preparation. But isn't that the beauty of life? You not only get to compete against people you love and admire, you get to celebrate the person that wins. I mean, Michael Cooper was the first guy to walk up to me on the court the other day and give me a hug and say congratulations. There's just hella respect with the coaches in this league. You're talking Hall of Famers. You're talking people who have years with one another. And sometimes people overlook that from the Big Three. They've brought some of the greatest players, people in the world together these last 9 years. And we've had a chance to really solidify not only our relationships. I've known Julius Erving since I was 14 years old. When Rick Mahorn, when I played in the WNBA at 50, Rick Mahorn was my assistant coach with Bill Lambier. It goes on and on. George Gervin. We're the class of 96 in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. We will forever be linked to each other for that class of enshrinement. This stuff is deep. And Cube has given us, and Jeff Quantinence has given us this platform to continue what we love and how hard we compete. And when it's all said and done, you might not be happy, but you shake that guy's hand and say, well done. I hope that Michael does that for me, and I will buy him dinner. Or I said, Gary does that to me, I should say.
You've coached, men, women, veterans, up-and-comers. What is it like coaching in Big Three with guys who are seasoned, who've been there and done it all in their careers?
The first time, my first year, we had all these seasoned veterans, as I mentioned, with Power. And then, the league continues to grow, right? So the guys that initially came and played in this league, some of them aged out. I think the age limit at that point was 32 years old. And then they went to 28 years old. So you got a whole new class of players, and they evolved again and they opened the game up to Euros. Now you have the best players in the world. And now you're seeing the second iteration of NBA guys coming to the league. It could be Greg Monroe, it could be Paul Millsap, it could be Dwight Howard or Lance Stevenson, and Montrezl Harrell. It's really great to see these guys who took their last bite of the NBA apple, but still love the game. It's a soft landing to retirement. Your family gets to watch you play. These players, they gave up so much. They gave up time with family to give their families generational wealth, and I really respect that. And now their kiddos get a chance to be around us and with us, and we love it. They get to see what Daddy did, and I'm proud of that.
You get credited as being a pioneer in this sport probably every day of your life. You were the first basketball medalist in the Olympics in 1976, just 17. Which first are you most proud of? And did you see all of this coming when you were 17?
Oh, when I was 17, I was just hanging on. Sports was so important to me because of my family life, but it emboldened me to feel good as a woman, to feel whole, not to feel less than. And then when you start winning and all those accomplishments, accountability, responsibility, how do I show up each day for my teammates? What am I giving to the fans and to the teams that I'm playing for? So for me personally, I mean, I have 50 years of these moments, and we played in Boston a few weeks ago, and then I left the next morning and I went to Phoenix, and the Mercury honored the 1997 team, the first team for the inaugural season. And you could just feel it with, 15, 16,000 people in the arena, and what you meant to people 30 years ago, whether they came to the arena just to lose themselves, they came to the arena because they love sports, or they loved you from your career or college. Yeah, it's pretty special. And then it's rolled over into men's sports. You used to see the guys that respect us. And then if you don't have people like Ice Cube open the door of opportunity to people like me, then I don't know Greg Monroe, then I don't know Glenn Rice, then I don't know Joe Johnson the way I should, the way I do right now. So a lot of credit goes to Cube and Jeff Quantinence for having the foresight for equality and just giving us this opportunity to work together and to compete together. And the fans love it. Have you ever been to a game?
I'm out here in England, sadly, so no. I've been, I
Okay,
mean, I've been to NBA, but when I was in
you got
LA.
to come. You got to come to a game. Maybe one day we'll come to England and do BIG3. You will just like lose yourself in the crowd with the music and just seeing how hard these guys play. I mean, their skill level is phenomenal. 38, 39, 40, that's not old. You might not be able to go 94 feet the way you used to up and down, but 3-on-3 half court is the essence of how you play basketball. And the BIG3 is really the pioneer in how you play this game. So you would love it if you're a basketball fan, because you never see 10 guys on one side of the floor. There's 3 players and 2 players. And what you do on that strong side will determine what happens on the weak side. So you learn so many of the the little essentials that you have to have in 3-on-3. So I love this game.
Yeah, it's infectious. What about the WNBA right now? Because so much of what you were able to do has helped pave the way for what we're seeing now. I mean, it's so talked about. The players are getting paid more than ever. More people are watching than ever before. So there's a lot of storylines happening. I want to ask you about Caitlin Clark and her MVP case. Maybe the media isn't talking about her as an MVP right now. Do you think that's fair, or how do you feel about her?
Well, first, transparency, she's a friend. And I admire her deeply for what she's done. But I admire so many of the women in the W. I mean, A'ja Wilson is the best player in the world right now. She's got 4 MVPs and 3 championships. And I love, Nafisa Collier and Stewie and Sabrina and Arike and Paige Beckers. Your head's on a swivel. There's so many great players. Olivia Miles, she should be in the MVP race right now. She's just taken this league by storm in this kind of cool, confident way. Her IQ is off the charts. I mean, she's appointment TV. With Caitlin, let me answer the question this way. Back in 1984, when Michael Jordan went to the NBA was struggling, and Larry and Magic were trying to kind of get it to a different place. And then Michael Jordan came in. The salaries went up. The arenas were full. The TV ratings went up, triple digits. Merchandise, the collective bargaining, everything changed economically. When Tiger Woods came to the PGA in the early 90s, he was winning tournaments. The crowds got bigger. The TV ratings got better. More purses, more money distributed to the players. I don't think anybody bitched about those guys very much because everybody was making more money and getting more attention. The W right now, we're in growing pains. For 30 years, we were kind of at a certain level, even though we were growing a little bit incrementally. Well, this new collective bargaining agreement and the $2.2 billion changed everything. Salary soared. They're taking, private jets right now. How they're being treated, all the essentials. Look at every major category, and attendance is up, 3 figures. The TV ratings are up 3 figures. Everything from merchandise, like I just said with Michael Jordan and the NBA, it's the same thing. What happened is there was a group of women at the NCAA level that had this massive fan base, and it could be A'ja, it could be Aaliyah Boston, it could be Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. They brought that fan base to the WNBA, and it has forced fans, cities, teams to raise your level of support. I mean, don't be just, I'll go to get. No, you have tickets, you're buying shirts, your fandom is real right now in the WNBA. And the economic engine for this is Caitlin Clark, and she shouldn't have to apologize. For some reason, she moves the needle, the financial needle, more than any other player right now. It doesn't mean that A'ja Wilson is not the best player in the world. She is. But, they're in the music industry. There's some amazing, legendary talent. Taylor Swift moves the needle like nobody else. It's happened. This is not an anomaly, but it is to what's happening right now in women's sports. The W is the biggest and most successful league in the world. Tennis, golf, volleyball, softball, soccer. The WNBA is the worldwide leader and in women's professional leagues. It's absolutely phenomenal. And a lot of these young kids brought their fan base, and now people are seeing all the other stars in the league. I would say that growth is good, but with growth, you might have you're not sure, or you get upset, or that's just part of growing pains, and you have to do it together. And you're right, high tide lifts all ships. And let me tell you what, they're not in canoes right now. These players who I adore and love, and I'm so proud of, they're on luxury liners because there's like a 2-year-old. I've said it before, that nobody knows. In 20 years, because of what A'ja and Caitlin and Beckers and Reese and all these amazing women are doing, that little girl's going to make $20 million a year. It's just the way it is. And I know sometimes you want You don't think I want to be playing in the WNBA right now in all its glory? Heck yeah. They just retired Diana Taurasi's jersey the other night, which was just, oh, I got chills. It was emotional. And for what she did, and to me, she's the GOAT, but she will not have had the opportunity to see the league the way it is going to be, like I just said, in 15, 20 years. But every generation has to support the next generation and applaud them. And I am a fan of women's basketball. The W, they're amazing gatekeepers to this game, and we're going to figure it out.
MJ, who you mentioned, he wore that role so well. Caitlin seems to do the same, right? How do you make what do you make of the way that she wears this superstar role well, and all the scrutiny and all the criticism and everyone having an opinion about her?
Well, it's not a movie. There's not a script. I mean, I look back in the 80s when people thought I was the best player in the world, and I had 99.9% of the attention, and I knew that there was envy and jealousy, and what was I supposed to do? She's just got to do her job. And we want to get back to the MVP. Yeah, she's in the MVP conversation. She is. If you match up her statistics and where the Fever, I think the Fever might be in fourth place right now. The Lynx are in first place. Aces, I think, are in third place. The Valkyries were unbelievable, by the way. They're second year out of expansion, and they're crushing it. Coach Natalie is doing a great job. The Liberty, there's a lot of really good teams. Washington, the Mystics are playing great basketball right now. So, we're going to see the best of the best. Everybody has an opinion, and apparently we're all entitled to it. It's called social media, and it's okay. We want to hear what the fans say, but when it gets nasty and when it gets political, when it gets, racist, I mean, you got to cut that crap out. That's not being a good fan. That's being emotional. And nothing ever good happens when you're emotional.
We're going to wrap up a little quick fire. Out of everything that you've achieved in your career, what makes you smile the most?
Waking up and just thanking God for another day.
Gratitude. Magic Johnson or Larry Bird? Who was actually better?
They're Twinkies. They were both great. I mean, it's hard to say who was better. They both won, 5 and 3 rings. So I'm a point guard. I'm going to go with Magic Johnson.
Who's the best dressed player in basketball?
Walt Frazier.
One rule in today's game you would delete immediately.
That's a great question. I had not heard. I would not have a 5-minute overtime. I would have a 3-minute overtime, almost like penalty kicks. And you got to get it done now. I would do that to speed up the game and the intrigue of who might or might not win.
If you could get restaurant advice from any player in the game, who would it be?
Restaurant advice, I would probably go to, that's a good question. I go to Stewie. She lives in New York. It's pretty eclectic. The food in New York is fantastic. And I'd ask her, if she's got a family, where do you go out to eat? What's like really, really hot right now?
Who's the funniest player in basketball?
Charles Barkley.
And one word to describe your game.
My game, unstoppable.
Who's the biggest natural talent you've ever seen?
Cheryl Miller.
And
she's great.
The hardest worker?
The hardest worker I've ever seen, Kobe Bryant.
And what's one word for the current state of the WNBA?
Epic.
And one word for BIG3?
Double epic. Actually, epic, epic, epic. We are the BIG3.
Love it. It's been an absolute pleasure. Best of luck on Saturday. Yeah, what an incredible career you continue to have. Absolute trailblazer. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.